You're listening to Convenience Matters, brought to you by NACS. Whether it's for food, fuel, drinks, or snacks, about half of the U.S. population shops at a convenience store every day. We'll talk about what we see at stores and what the future may hold for our industry.
We're going to start off today's podcast a little differently. It's going to be brought to you by a specific letter. And Lindsay, any clue on what letter today is bringing us the podcast?
A letter. I think, well, if we're going with the next theme, maybe C?
It would be a good one. But today it's going to be about P. And P stands for produce, partnership, positioning in terms of how do you talk to customers, and most of all, profit. Welcome to Convenience Matters. My name is Jeff Lenard with NACS.
And Lindsay Buchanan with NACS.
And today we're joined by Kathy Means. She's Vice President at the Produce Marketing Association. Multiple titles there, so we'll just say Vice President. Welcome, Kathy.
Thanks. I'm so glad to be here with you.
So the reason today is being brought to you by a letter, the letter P, is because of the opportunity that we have with PMA. We have a collaboration, NACS and PMA, to bring something very interesting to stores, convenience retailers across the country. Do you want to talk about that, Kathy?
Sure, I would love to. It's the Eat Brighter program, which is a collaboration among the Partnership for a Healthier America, Sesame Workshop, and PMA, and now we're making it available to NACS retail members. And it uses the favorite Sesame characters that kids love and parents trust to promote more produce consumption within kids 2 to 5 and their parents. So our goal is to get healthier kids and build consumers for life who are buying a lot more produce, which is increasingly important to convenience stores.
And of course, the Sesame Street brand is as recognized as any out there. Lindsay and I were just talking about just her connection with Sesame Street and how much it means. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that brand resonates with you?
Sure, absolutely. As a millennial, I think we grew up with that brand. We know Elmo, we know Abby Cadabby and Big Bird, and that brand is it's fun and we know it. But not only that, but we trust it. We know that those initiatives are backed, and those health initiatives, those diversity initiatives, they care about them. And in turn, we believe that they care about us and our children.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And this year, it's Sesame Street's 50th anniversary. There's a lot of big anniversaries in 1969. It's the moon landing, Woodstock, but I think it's, don't forget that Sesame Street was founded 50 years ago, I believe in November 1969. So, Kathy, some of the elements of the program, this applies to both retailers and suppliers and distributors can all get involved in this. If they're NACS members, it's really easy to execute.
It's extremely easy to execute. Our goal is to get these furry monsters promoting fruits and vegetables as easily as possible. So once someone signs up to become a part of Eat Brighter, there's a turnkey marketing toolkit. It is an absolute breeze to do this. You put the characters on signage or on products, and they sell themselves.
And we were lucky enough working with you to talk to one of those characters. And we'd like to throw at least a couple questions that way. So let's start with the first one, and maybe you can figure out who we're talking to. So why is eating fruits and vegetables so important?
Elmo's mommy told Elmo that eating fruits and vegetables keeps Elmo healthy. Elmo just knows that eating them is yummy in Elmo's tummy. Yeah, they make Elmo feel good and give Elmo lots of energy to play and learn.
And for the record, that's not tape speeded up. That really is Elmo talking in third person about some of the benefits of produce. And if you look at our channel, produce is a huge opportunity. We know from Nielsen numbers that last year produce sales in convenience stores were roughly $250 million, and just a fairly dramatic growth over the past decade. But we really see when we look at trends that there's so much room for more growth. If you look at how millennials go to stores now, if you look at how moms who are there with that target audience of 2 and 5-year-olds go to stores and see these items. There can be a real connection in your stores or with your brands when you're communicating one of the 9 characters from Sesame Street. Absolutely,
Jeff. I think from a marketing perspective, it's putting that brand out there that parents and people know and trust. I mean, cartoon marketing, we see in the numbers, it just works. Kids, they want an apple if Elmo's on it. They want a grape if they can see Grover or Big Bird or, something that they recognize and know. It may make them more likely to sell those perishable items from your stores.
And Kathy, you also have the metrics to show that in other channels that are embracing this program, they are seeing sales growth.
Yes, absolutely. The suppliers in particular who are participating with Eat Brighter have seen sales growth of 3 to 5% when they're using the characters. And I think that's really important because sales is critical to every business. But there's also the aspect of community, and I think you folks have touched on that as well, that stores that are using this program and offering these products show that they care about their customers, and that also contributes to loyalty and to sales. So it works on 2 levels, certainly on the sales level, and then also on the customer loyalty and customer benefit level.
And also the sales trends that you were citing are more related to grocery, which is known for produce. And so to get that kind of increase in a place that they know sells produce is fairly significant. And when you transfer that to the convenience industry, where you may not think about produce first as being something inside the store, it's a way to tell that story right away, as opposed to some retailers who may sell some produce and say, well, it didn't really work, so we're not going to do it anymore. It's a way to really put your foot in the ground and say, we're in it with produce.
I think that's a really important point. And one of the big differences between traditional grocery stores and convenience stores is we know folks are in and out of convenience stores very quickly. So having a recognizable brand like Sesame, the kid walks in, they see Elmo, and they say, wow, I want that. They're making decisions very fast when they're in a convenience store. So this really helps folks cement that idea of, I want that and I want it now.
You mentioned Elmo, and it's a perfect time to throw a question at Elmo. So, Elmo, do your friends on Sesame Street eat fruits and vegetables?
Oh, sure. Elmo's friend Baby Bear puts berries in porridge. Oh, and Big Bird puts a banana or all kinds of berries in his birdseed milkshake. Fruits and vegetables make meals so wonderful and colorful, too.
Yes, they do. And we know that bananas are the number 1 fruit sold in convenience stores. But basically anything that's as Kathy, you mentioned, is convenient. And it can be things, when we're talking about the program, we're not necessarily talking about berries and porridge or birdseed milkshakes. We're talking about produce that is either cut fruit without any additive ranch dressing or something like that, or whole fruit or vegetables or other items like that.
That's right. It's open to all fresh and fresh-cut fruits and vegetables. And if something like a dip or a sauce or something like that is sold separately, that's fine. But it is only for the fruits and vegetables themselves. So it's a marketer's dream. As you mentioned, as Lindsay mentioned, we know that cartoon and character marketing works. Otherwise, people wouldn't spend hundreds of thousands, even millions for princesses and superheroes. And this is an incredibly affordable and easy way to get into character marketing and make it work for your own brand, for your stores and your products.
When we talk about what we can do with convenience stores, it really is, how do you reshape their dynamic and how do you make them think differently? Because we've talked about how fast it is somebody comes in a convenience store. It's 3 to 4 minutes. We've done various tests in stores and we find out that when we have a lot of words, people don't necessarily pay attention to words. They pay attention to images and repetition of images and something that will stop them. And I think that's an important point about this program.
Sure. I think when you think about convenience just as a concept where in those stores for 3 to 4 minutes. Think about when you're going into those stores, you're taking a child to a sports game. You're running in on, getting gas. You're on a trip. You want something quick and easy. Bananas, if you think of bananas, they come in their own packaging. You're in 3 minutes, you grab a banana, Big Bird's on the banana, your kid wants to eat it, great. They go into the car and you're on your way. I think fruit and produce and vegetables by nature are just convenient in different forms. And, I think for me, I love bananas. I think bananas are fantastic. I mean, we can pose that to the table. What is your favorite fruit or vegetable for a snack?
Elmo likes carrots because they're crunchy and the same color as Elmo's nose. Oh, Elmo also goes to the store with his mommy to pick out red apples, green apples, yellow apples. Boy, all apples are delicious.
Yes, Elma, they are. And I think that also hits a nice point when we talk about what can be done in convenience stores. Now, you typically don't think of convenience stores as a place that has abundance, where there's a whole fruit section, a whole fruit section. But really, how do you deliver that in the fresh case? So what seems to be a perfect example would be like those apple slices that are really easy to eat in the car. I think about some of the things when I travel. I'll get the apple slices, a couple boiled eggs or something like that. $2, you're on your way. You got your protein, you got fiber, you got a fruit. It's a really easy way to kind of think about day part marketing with stores. And Kathy, are you seeing that also with produce where people aren't necessarily thinking of fruit as a dessert necessarily or something to accompany something, but you can use different fruit for different day parts, whether it's apples and bananas in the morning or something else?
Absolutely. In fact, we just did Produce Marketing Association, we just did research where we looked at that, drivers and barriers for consumption, things like that. I won't get all technical, but it did look at day parts, and people are not, it's not a 3 meals a day world anymore. Everybody has something different they need. Some folks do eat 3 meals a day. Folks are stopping for snacks. They want a pick-me-up of some sort, and fruits and vegetables in their most convenient forms are perfect for that. And we're seeing so much more in the way of convenience products in fruits and vegetables because we know everybody's on the go. Everybody, we're just moving faster and faster every day. So we are seeing a lot more fruits and vegetables appearing on their own with other things, but not always in what we might traditionally think of as meals.
And I know that there's one truck stop company a couple of years ago. There was a news story about them, and it's a truck stop with several hundred locations. And the news story led with, this is a company that's now selling more fruit cups than peanut butter cups. And when you think about how much we have changed, whether it's truck stops, whether it's convenience retailers, people are seeking out these items. And if you think about a parent and the typical 2 to 5 year old that's also the raving Sesame Street fan, sometimes they can be difficult. Sometimes you're at the checkout and it's like, oh, no. When a kid's saying, I want to buy this fruit, I want to buy this vegetable, it's a whole different conversation. And I think it really can be powerful for the business.
I think you've hit on a key point, and that is this makes mom and dad's life easier. Getting the right products, delicious fruits and vegetables that are also good for the kids, building healthy habits for life, all of that. And as you've mentioned, doing it so quickly while you're in the convenience store. So it is a gift to parents to make the healthy choice the easy choice, but it's also the delicious choice. And I think that's another important service that retailers offer their customers is, how can I solve the problems my customer has? And sometimes it's a cranky toddler. So how can I make this a whole lot easier for them to get what they need and get out the door quickly? And when the kid says, I want what Elmo wants, that's a sale.
Exactly. And we've heard from Elmo, he loves carrots. And Elmo, what else do you like to eat? Do you like other fruits and vegetables for lunch or dinner?
Oh, Elmo loves broccoli. It looks like a little tree. One time Elmo ate an entire forest. as dessert, Elmo eats a fruit salad. It's like eating a rainbow. Oh, and the best part is, you can add any fruit you like.
And I love the idea about the color, and we talk about the idea of eat the rainbow, but it also applies to the whole PMA program that you've worked with, Sesame Workshop, Eat Brighter. And Eat Brighter, I think, is such a great name because it does allude to colors, but it also, I think there's an element of brighter meaning smarter without being a lecture in the whole thing. It's more of the nudge that you're hearing that really works when you talk to nutritionists.
Absolutely. Nudge is a very important word because we don't want to hit people over the head with a hammer. But when they're in that split second that they're making a choice of what they're going to eat, having that nudge that says, pick the apple, pick the banana, pick the carrot sticks, those kinds of things really makes it great. And we know that Sesame's mission is to grow stronger, smarter, kinder kids, and PMA's vision is to grow a healthier world. So we're aligned in this. Yes, it's more sales. There's no question about that. But it's also about starting kids on the right path, getting them to become consumers for life. And it does make them smarter. All the research shows that when kids are eating right, they learn better, they grow stronger. It's all good. There are no downsides to this.
And it's smart business. We alluded to the idea that it is fairly inexpensive. And when I mean fairly, we're not talking about thousands of dollars in many cases, certainly not millions, of how somebody can take part in this. And your creativity, one's creativity is the limiting factor because it's not necessarily looking at, could this go on shelf talkers? Could this go in the cold case? Could this go on the product itself? Could this go in pre-packaged fruits and vegetables? It could be used on the website. It can be used at the pump. It could be used on the store. On the signage on the store when you come in. There are all kinds of different things that are feasible. Now, of course, they need to be run through to make sure they adhere to brand standards, but creativity, which this is all about, is really the limiting factor in how much a retailer, supplier, or distributor can do in this whole program.
That's exactly right. Creativity is the only limit. It is a program that's easy to use because you incorporate it into what you're already doing. You're already printing signage. You're already printing these different things, or you've already got things on ad or on the website, things like that. So you're just swapping out and putting this in. I will say, too, you don't have to give up your brand to use this. Eat Brighter is perfect for co-branding. So you don't have to lose your own identity to use Eat Brighter. And in terms of affordability, because we are so pleased to be collaborating with NACS, we want to meet people where they are, and they are in convenience stores. So we're offering NACS members the PMA member price as well. So it is under $1,000 to participate in this program. And for many of the smaller NACS retailers, it can be as low as $150. And that's for the life of the program, not per year. So it's a fabulous way to affordably get into character marketing and grab the attention of your shoppers.
And that is not per SKU, that is not per store, that is per company, one time only.
That's correct.
So that sounds like a great deal, and it sounds like a great way to celebrate Sesame Street's 50th anniversary. Now, Kathy, we've joked about how PMA and NACS have a lot in common. We're trade associations separated at birth. We have massive trade shows in October that are really significant for how do we tell our story to members. And yours is in October this year. I will be going there because it's 2 weeks after the NACS show, the Fresh Summit. But anything else you want to tell us about PMA, and for anybody who's interested, how they can find out more?
Sure. It's easy to find us. We're www.pma.com, and we represent the global produce and floral supply chain. So we're everyone from seed to store, and we are about all things produce. You can find solutions to food safety, to marketing, to consumer trends. We have a lot of stuff that's available. Our goal is to help our members sell more produce, and in doing so, build a healthier world.
And if you want to sell more produce and you want to use the PMA Eat Brighter campaign, go to convenience.org/Eat Brighter. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Elmo. And thank you all for listening to Convenience Matters.
Convenience Matters is brought to you by NACS and produced in partnership with Human Factor. For more information, visit convenience.org.